Hey guys, it's Larry Greenberg, and today we're going to take a look at the Uzibull Ekto 2 for the iPad 2. There aren't a ton of heavy-duty protective cases around for the iPad 2, and the ones that are, frankly, are super bulky, often difficult to install, and frankly rather expensive. So the Ekto 2 is the second version of the Ekto case, which I reviewed for the original iPad, and it offers a great amount of both shock and impact protection in an easy to install case. It offers both an ergonomic grip as well as two different color choices. So the case is available, as you see, in both black and then in a frost white color. Let's crack open the black one first, and then I'll come back and show you the frost white version. So let me get all this packaging back out of the way and, you know, kind of get the wrapper out of the way so I can show you what this case is all about. I'll remove the inner lining. If you remember the first version of this case, it was much beefier, much bulkier, and it was really a combination of like a gaming case as well as a protective heavy-duty case. Kind of retained the same shape and same style as the original version, but just like the iPad 2, it's slimmed down. So let's take my iPad 2 and place it inside. Just like any kind of silicone sleeve, really there's no right or wrong way to do it. Actually, before I do that though, let me show you the inside of the case, which has this kind of like waffle pattern to it, which is obviously going to do a good job of absorbing shock and impact if you were to drop your iPad 2. Now you do have to make sure you put it in right because it obviously has cutouts, you know, in all the right places. So let's start by putting the bottom in, and then I'll just kind of work it around my iPad 2. Again, like you would do any silicone case like on your iPhone or anything like that. It goes on nice and tight, which is good. You want a nice tight fit with silicone. You don't want it loose because that'll mean it will bump around. So there you go, I have it fully installed. So as you can see, you get a nice amount of lay on the table design with this. The silicone comes right up onto the glass, and not only that, it's kind of raised, so it gives you a kind of unparalleled amount of lay on the table protection. You can put this thing screen down and not worry about anything getting in contact with the screen. You can see it has like matching horseshoe cutouts for the sleep awake and then for the front facing camera. Feels really nice in the hand when you hold it like this, really cushy, really grippy, and you know, really nice ergonomic fit. As far as the bottom goes, and kind of show you the back view of it, it's got a nice size cutout for the 30-pin connector. You can get your charger up in there to charge the iPad and sync while the case is still on. And then a nice cutout as well for the speaker, so all the sound comes through. Here on this side, you've got one large cutout for the volume rocker and the mute/orientation switch. And then you can also make out that perfectly sized round cutout for the rear-facing camera. It is missing a cutout for the mic, unfortunately, which, as you know, is probably located at the top here. And then it does have a nice cutout for the headset jack and then a covered sleep awake button. This gives you really nice feedback though when you press it. It's nice and cushy, and it, again, really good feedback when you press it. It also does have that Apple logo cut out on the back. For you, those of you that are concerned about this getting scratched, you're going to want to protect it with some kind of screen shield. Although it is raised, and when you put it down, you won't have any issues with, you know, things coming in contact with it, but it still could get scratched, and I would recommend putting a kind of clear piece of screen shield over this. So the key with this case, a couple things. Number one, I mentioned it offers you a good amount of protection. This thing is like, you know, made to be dropped. It literally like bounces when you drop it, like a rubber bouncy ball or like a super ball. And that's because it's just got all those grooves and all that silicone to absorb any kind of impact. So like, you know, if you're like me and your kids are using your iPad a ton, this would be a great case for them to use because if they drop it, it's not going to get damaged. You can see all the grooves on the back as well, which contribute to the, you know, shock and impact that this thing is able to absorb. It also has a great amount of grip. These kind of raised corners or raised edges, if you can make that out, give you a really nice ergonomic grip, both when you're holding it in the landscape as well as in the portrait position. This thing is great for gaming. If you're doing any kind of driving games where, you know, you're holding the iPad like this, or any kind of games that use the accelerometer to play, like one of those frisbee games. I forget what it's called, where you throw the frisbee and have to like move it around. This does a great job with that because it just gives you a really nice grip. You know, the original version was really thick, really bulky. I really like how they slimmed this thing down, and I think it's very functional. And at under $40, under $35 even, it's a pretty good deal for a heavy-duty protective case. So that is the black version. Let's crack open the frost version just so you can see what that one looks like also. I think, you know, either color will look just as good on either color iPad. I don't think you have to have the, you know, the frost white version with the white iPad or the black with the black. You can go either up, change it around, and, you know, go from there. This one obviously is a little bit on the clearer side. So let's get it out of the black and we'll get it into the frost white just so you can see the difference. Let's see, make sure I line this thing up the right way. And go from there. This was the color of the original version, I think, that I was sent. But, you know, again, it looks really good with the white iPad, I think. So I'm going to let my kids obviously have some fun with this. And I won't be as concerned with them dropping it because I know that this case is going to do that really good job of absorbing, you know, all the impact. So there's the white version with my white iPad, as you can see. Looks good. I think the black one looks just as nice, though. They both look great. So that is a quick look at the Uzibull Ekto 2 for the iPad 2. Again, available in two colors, both frost white and jet black. Either will cost you $34.95. Check the link in the video description if you want to learn more about either of these cases. As always, if you have any questions, you know you can always drop me a line. Otherwise, you have a great day.